After a roughly 2-decade-long struggle, Nepal allowed its first same-sex couple to marry this week, becoming the only country in India's neighborhood to legalize same-sex unions. While the country is yet to have a law on same-sex marriage, authorities in the Lamjung district in western Nepal formally registered the union of the couple Maya Gurung, 35, and Surendra Pandey, 27, after the Supreme Court's June order. The duo had been together for almost a decade and wed in a temple in a Hindu ceremony in 2017. However, they had no legal documentation recognizing this marriage over the past 6 years. Gurung is a transgender woman who has not changed her gender on official documents, while Pandey is cisgender male. Nepal is among 36 countries to allow same-sex marriage worldwide. Apart from Nepal, Taiwan is the only other Asian country that has legalized same-sex marriage. While India decriminalized homosexuality, it does not recognize same-sex unions. So what is the legal history behind Nepal's landmark move that is being celebrated across the LGBTQI+ community? Nepal's legal system has seen transformative changes since 2007. After the Nepal Supreme Court repealed laws barring homosexuality and reformed numerous laws to explicitly protect gender and sexual minorities. It also directed the government to legally recognize a third gender category, reform all laws which discriminate against the LGBTQ+ individuals, and form a committee to study the legal recognition of same-sex relationships. In this process, the Nepal government identified roughly 100 laws that needed changes. Based on these orders, in 2010, the Election Commission of Nepal added the third gender as an option on electoral rolls. Individuals who did not identify as male or female could now choose a third gender. In the next year, Nepal became the first country in the world to include a third gender on its federal census. However, legislation and action on legalizing same-sex marriage did not develop as quickly within the government. When Nepal introduced its new civil code on 16 September 2015, it included several laws recognizing LGBTQ+ rights and explicitly stating that there can be no discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation. While this newly reformed 2015 constitution addressed LGBTQ+ rights as fundamental rights, it did not legally recognize same-sex marriage. Members of the queer community could acquire a citizenship certificate recognizing their gender identity. They were also eligible for special protections by the law and the right to access public services for gender and sexual minorities. Over the last decade, subsequent Nepali governments did not form bills recognizing same-sex unions, further delaying the process. In June this year, Pinky Gurung, president of the Blue Diamond Society, an LGBT rights organization in Nepal, filed a public interest litigation or PIL along with 8 members of the LGBTQI+ community. This led to Justice Til Prasad Shrestha's ruling in the Supreme Court, where she issued an interim order directing the government that although Nepal's civil code currently describes marriage as being between a man and a woman, it should place a transitional mechanism to ensure marriage registration of same-sex couples and other non-traditional heterosexual couples. In this landmark judgment, the Apex Court on 28th June ordered registrations to begin without waiting for new legislation. Building on previous judgments, the Supreme Court ruled that failure to recognize same-sex spouses violates Nepal's constitution and its international human rights obligations. This verdict recognized the marriage rights of people based on their gender identity and sexual orientation and called for required amendments to be made within the provisions on marriage and registered marriages in the current Nepal Civil Code 2017. While Nepal and Taiwan are the only Asian countries to recognize same-sex marriage, numerous countries in the region have taken steps towards giving equal rights to queer individuals. India decriminalized homosexuality in 2018, while Vietnam declared homosexuality as not an illness last year. Singapore too repealed its law banning homosexuality but amended its constitution to restrict marriage rights to only heterosexual couples. Taiwan began registering same-sex unions this year and even extended full adoption rights to queer couples. This is Dishha Bagchi for The Print. Follow The Print for all the latest updates. Thank you.